Scotty, beam me up.
Surprise.
What's up, guys? It's Eric Belrose here. We're going to be beaming today, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. What we've got here today is some beams, baby. Yes, we are going to be beaming some things today with our Lickitung. Every chance I get to use a Hyper Beam, I'm going to take it. So, what we've got here is we've got Lickitung on the lead, my golden shiny Lickitung that's spent way too long to make this thing. We've got a non-XL Medicham and Ariados, one of my new favorite picks for the Great League. So, pretty standard ABV team, two things in the back that are strong against fighting, and then you got Lickitung in the front that isn't exactly able to deal with fighters as well. But super thick, and just beams. Just beams and booms, and I love it. So, without further ado, let's hop into these battles here. I've got some good ones for you today, guys. Huge shout out to my patrons first before we get started, too. Love you guys, and thank you for everything that you do. So we got a Scolipede on the lead. I gotta stay in here because my backline doesn't really handle this thing all that well, I'm not gonna lie. So, yep. I am gonna look to try and catch a move on my Ariados. I kinda have to. I don't want to tank it too many moves, we get some lag. But that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and shield the potential Mega Horn because I know it still will hurt, and it's a Sludge Bomb. So it was still a good shield. I do know that Scolipede is pretty squishy though. So I'm okay with just throwing lunges here because I know that they're still going to do some decent damage, and that's going to force them to swap out. I kind of had a feeling my opponent was waiting for me to throw the lunge and then swap out to clear their debuff. So now they come in with an Electrode. I've got an energy advantage, and I'm going to shield disadvantage though, but that's okay. Because now that the Electrode is debuffed, they're not going to be able to take me out with a Discharge from here, I don't believe. So Discharge comes through, barely hang on, and I'm going to be able to get to this lunge before they take me out with that Volt Switch. So, now I'm going to be able to pressure a shield off of my opponent. They're likely going to take it. Nope, they let it go. So, now Lickitung comes in, snipes down the Electrode, and now I'm in position. I'm going to shield this Lickitung, I think, right? Oh, yeah. Nope, we're not going to shield it. We're going to tank the damage, but I'm looking at Scolipede all the way down. I'm looking him all the way down. I'm looking him all the way down. Alright, so now I'm going to spend a shield because I've got a Hyper Beam, dude. I've got to save this energy. Now, X-Scissor comes through, I'm going to shield it up, and I'm going to go for the Hyper Beam. Ladies and gentlemen, do you think they're going to shield this at all? Do you honestly think they're going to shield this at all? No, they don't shield it. Niantic takes a whole Hyper Beam, and is going to have to shield a Body Slam now, which feels kind of bad. And I've still got a whole Medicham in the back, so this is pretty much looking like a good game. But Melodic is a scary thing. If it's got some energy, my opponent's like, nah, I took the beam, I'm done, man. So, good game, my opponent. But 2 shield flex with the Hyper Beam, dude. Magcargo lead. This is tricky, I'm not gonna lie, because I can't swap out of this. So what I like to do with Magcargo leads is I try to use the Force, and I try to catch a move on my Medicham when they throw. And let's see if it works. Oh, we get it. We catch the move. So here's the thing, though. This is my only real counter to... Oh, that hurts. And that's my only real counter. So here comes a Clefable to completely demolish my Medicham. But we've got an Ariados. Never fear. Ariados with Cross Poison is going to be able to quickly spam away this Clefable. Now, since I'm resisting the charm damage, I'm going to overload a lot on energy. I need to be able to take out this Magcargo that's running Rock Throw. So, I know that that's bad because it does much more damage than Incinerate, and the fast move damage is going to be something that I need to worry about. So, my opponent is going to tank that, knowing that they just don't need to shield. They have a Magcargo that beats the rest of my team. So, I'm going to go for this lunge here. I'm going to lower the attack of the Magcargo on the other side. Not going to do a lot of damage, but I'm going to swap right in. And I go for the Body Slam. Ah, I gotcha. I wasn't going to go for the Hyper Beam. No, that wasn't quite worth it quite yet. But let's see what happens here. Body Slam's going to get the shield off of my opponent. And now there's a Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff comes in, guys. Wigglytuff's going to come in. Do you think they're going to shield this? I don't think they're going to shield this. I don't think so. I don't think so. Takes a Hyper Beam to the face. Beam me up. Scotty is back. I should name this Lickitung Scotty, for Christ's sake. All right. I'm going to go for the Body Slam before the Lickitung goes down here. And the Wigglytuff's just going to go down. Now, Magcargo comes in. Now, this is dangerous because there are 2 shields, or there's 1 shield on either side. The only way that I win this game is if Cross Poison somehow does enough damage through that shield. And we get a boost, which is going to guarantee that the Cross Poison now does enough damage. So, that being said, that was a good game, and I probably only win because I got the boost. But you know what? I'll take it because it happens to my opponents just as often as it happens to me. So, well played, good game to my opponent. Frickin' Hyper Beams, dude. Talonflame. So the way that I play out my Talonflame leads with my Lickitung, because obviously I can't swap in my Ariados here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to count up to my 15th Lick, and then hit the Body Slam button. And no shield, no matter what it is. If they throw the Brave Bird, like that, it's kaboom worthy, I don't care. It hurts, it's a Lickitung. Alright, so we've got a Body Slam now that my opponent either has to let go. For a Body Slam, that's a lot of damage, so they gotta let it go. But Medicham comes in now, and I'm going to counter swap with my Ariados with 2 shields. I'm going to outpace them to the lunges, although I have to basically shield the Psychic. If I don't shield the Psychic, then I'm going to lose unless I can get 2 lunges in. That is the only way that my Ariados is going to be able to survive a Psychic, is once 2 lunges have come through. It's the only way that we can not die. So, I'm going to shield the first Psychic, but my defense goes down. And that's bad, because now, despite them being able to get to the Psychic, I might not have noticed, because I'm playing this out the same way I would as if there wasn't a defense fault. But my opponent's going to be able to get that in there, and I'm actually going to, I think I'm going to let this, I let this go because I didn't see that I got a defense drop, and I didn't realize that that was going to take my Ariados almost out. We hang on with 1 HP. Ariados is going to be able to get a Cross Poison off and keep switch advantage, because I don't want that Talonflame near me if I can help it. Now I'm going to be able to get a couple of super buffed Poison Stings off before going down. Lickitung is going to come in and attempt to lick this birdie all the way down. We're almost at a Hyper Beam, boys. Not quite, though. Not quite close enough. But Medicham comes in to counter against the RPS backline of the Magcargo that they just so happen to have in the back. And that's pretty much GG's, because they're running Rock Throw, and there's nothing that they can do with me having a shield at this point. They just kind of lose. So, oh well. Or no, they're running Ember. That's not Rock Throw, that's Ember. Still. Nothing they can do. I shield it just in case, but I don't want to get hit with an overheat and lose the game. But just going to go for these power-up punches here. And my opponent is playing this out, so kudos to them, because most people probably would have top-lefted by now. But going to be able to get to this next power-up punch before they can get to another move that would take me out. And that will be a good game. No Hyper Beams this time, though. I'm so sorry. It's alright, though. They're coming. There's plenty. There are plenty of beams to go around here. Ariados lead. One of the other ones that I can't really swap out of. So I have to stay in here and start eating lunges. Now, what I've started to kind of do is once my opponent has thrown a lunge or 2, and once I'm aware that they're low on energy, like that, when they have 0 energy, I will go ahead and I will swap out. That allows my Lickitung to have some farm for later, because then I'm going to be able to land a Hyper Beam. And we love Hyper Beams. So, Ariados is going to keep farming. I'm kind of hoping that they're going to swap at some point so that I can hit them with a couple of lunges when they drop in. But they decided to stay in and eat that energy. And then they swap out into their own Lickitung. Their Lickitung is going to come in, and it is going to be met with some lunges before it can get to its first Body Slam, which means Ariados is going to be able to put in some work here. But the switch timers are way off here. So what I'm actually looking to do at this point is hopefully swap into my Medicham to take advantage of the fact that they stayed in way too long on the lead. So I'm basically going to throw this lunge, and then I'm going to dip into Medicham at this point. That way it's going to be able to guarantee that I'm able to do as much damage as possible. I don't need to shield anything because my opponent is double debuffed at this point. I can just farm all the way down, and then I've got the ability to possibly land a Psychic against the Ariados that comes back in, or I can bait with power-up punches, whatever I so choose to do in the moment. So the Lickitung is going to go down, and then what comes in but Spider itself. Now my opponent's Spider is going to throw a move here, and I know it's lunge. I'm a little bit low, so I want to shield this up. And then I'm going to throw a power-up punch, and they catch on their Medicham, which is actually less than ideal for me, because now they have an Ariados and a Medicham, and what do I get to do now? Except just sit here and wish that I had more than no HP Ariados and a Lickitung to face off against this Medicham. But now that I'm pupped, I'm going to go for Psychic. They do shield up, and at this point, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to shield this because I expect it to be a Psychic because they need to get rid of my Medicham or else. So Psychic comes through, and I'm feeling kind of swifty here. I'm gonna get some energy on my Medicham, and then what I'm gonna attempt to do now is I'm going to attempt to come in with my Lickitung. I think. Maybe I misremember. The games were played a few days ago, my bad. So I'm going to go for the Power Up Punch here instead. I'm just looking to basically take them out here. And then, okay, yep, there it is. All right, so now my opponent has to get through this thick, licky boy. And all they've got is lunges. And I just need to get to 2 Body Slams here, basically, at this point. I'm going to go ahead and throw this Body Slam. And then, pretty sure we go for the next Body Slam, despite having to take a lunge here. No, maybe we don't get there. I don't think. Ooh, does it do enough damage? It's very close. Let's see if Lickitung can hang on here and get to this Body Slam in time after that lunge comes through. Hangs on by a sliver of HP, less than a Poison Sting away after that Body Slam goes off. Gonna be able to get to the Body Slam. Is the Body Slam enough? Yes, it is. Ariados is gonna go down. Medicham comes in to clap the cheeks of my poor Lickitung. I come in by mistake with my Spider, not realizing that they basically had a move, but my opponent throws Power Up Punch, and that's going to be able to let me get to the Cross Poison to take out the opponent's Medicham right before the game clock comes up, and that is going to be a good game. That was a long one. I don't have very many timeout games in Great League, but that was one of them. That's what I get for running Lickitung, though, right? Dredigon lead. This thing is actually really neat. I have one, and I can never make it work. I don't know what it is, but I safe swap in Ariados here, and I draw out a Talonflame, which is perfectly fine with me. So, Cross Poisons are what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw these Cross Poisons with good timing, so I'm going to basically try to farm up as much as I can, and then get 2 in before the Incinerate finishes, before they can even use their energy if they want to, or sneak another Incinerate through. So, getting 2, and then that's going to be able to get to a point where, oh, the Talonflame actually throws energy. Usually they try to farm down and end up having to spend a shield in the process because they get greedy. But now, Lickitung gets to come in and farm down. Here comes the Licker. Licky Boy comes in, starts to slap this big bird with its tongue. Its big, meaty, fat tongue. And he's going to be able to lick down after taking this move. Now, I knew it was a Flame Charge because I think they only had enough energy for the Flame Charge. They would have had to do another Incinerate to get to the Brave Bird. So, here comes Dredigon. Medicham comes in, and now we've got to face off against Galarian Slowbro, which is not ideal because Galarian Slowbro double resists my counters, and the only thing that I can realistically throw at it is a Psychic. So, gonna throw the Psychic, and it lands for a good chunk of the HP of the Slowbro, and I noticed that my counters are doing enough damage that I don't really need to start going for Psychic. I think I can safely start going for Power-Up Punches and possibly threaten shields with it, but I do look to try and build up as though I'm going for the Psychic to try and get that shield instead of them being like, it's just a pup, I'm not going to shield this. So they're going to go ahead and they're just going to pup, or I'm going to throw this pup here because I figure I'm going to do it before they get to another move. They get to the move anyway, I'm going to let it go. Because it's a Psychic type, Lickitung can lick it down. And he's going to do that right now. Lickitung is going to be able to take this out, and then Dredigon swaps back in. Hyper Beam is clicked on the phone screen. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got another boom. What happens? Do they hit it? Do they shield it? No! Dredigon with a shield doesn't shield the Hyper Beam. My opponent quits, and that's a good game. Whoa, I love Hyper Beam, dude. Sylveon lead. Another one of those ones that I just can't really swap out of. Lickitung just is going to do its thing. I'm going to lick up as hard as I can here, and I'm going to either lose lead or I'm going to go straight for Hyper Beam. And you know I'm going straight for Hyper Beam because I got no other reason not to. I'm not going to throw Body Slams at this thing. That's what they expect, right? Hyper Beam's going to come through, and you know it's coming through. So here comes a Hyper Beam off the Lickitung. Golden Fat Tongue Licky Boy throwing that big fat beam. Takes out Sylveon in one shot with the Hyper Beam. Then my Cargo comes in. I'm going to swap in Medicham here just because I now have got the Charmer out of the way. So I expect them not to have a strong backline against a fighter like Medicham. And they do. They have a freaking Wigglytuff in the back. Dude, who the run ABA Charm? This mad person. So I'm going to go for the Psychic because that's the only thing that's going to do real damage and or threaten a shield here. And then Ariados actually looked very strong to close this game out for me. Now, the reason why I say that is because even though it's a Rock Throw Cargo, Ariados is extremely spammy and extremely versatile with its energy gain, cross poison, and lunge. And being able to lunge to death the last thing alive is actually really huge. But actually, I'm counting their charms, and I'm going for the hardest farm down of my life, dude. I'm going to farm that Wiggly all the way down, and I'm going to start throwing lunges out the rear wazoo of this spider. Here comes a lunge, and here comes another lunge, and here comes another lunge. We're just going to keep lunging until this thing's attack is so far down that it doesn't have a choice but to shield, and then I'm actually going to be able to get to another lunge because of those 2 lunges that I threw before. So, we have confirmed that this spider is a Magcargo counter, guaranteed. And Lickitung's going to come in here to finish the job. Good job, Licky boy, good job. I knew you had it in you. My golden liquor. Alright, next game here. We got Lickitung on the lead versus another Talonflame. So once again, Talonflame on the lead. We're going to go to 15 licks and throw that Body Slam. No shield the first move, and if my opponent throws the Brave Bird, I'm either going to get a shield or chunk the absolute heck out of that big red bird. So, once again, CMP tie, no shield. What is it? It's another freaking Brave Bird. Lickitung takes a beating, but he's thick enough. Look at those thighs, dude. This thing can take 2 Brave Birds. He's a big boy. All right. Body Slam's going to come through. They're going to actually shield this one. Medicham swaps in. I'm going to counter swap my Ariados in. I am up a shield. My opponent has a fighter, and I am set to whoop this Medicham's thick thigh booty. All right. So, Lunge is going to come through. Lunge is going to keep coming through, because that's all I'm going to throw here, until maybe the very end when I want to decide I want to throw a Cross Poison, but that's okay. We're going to shield the potential Psychic. It is a Psychic. That's a good shield. Opponents don't usually... I mean, they do sometimes bait, and usually I shield the bait anyway. But by the time that they're shielding baits, it's pointless. But anyway, so my opponent is going to get... let this go through. They have 1 shield up. They probably don't really want to spend it. I'm going to go for the Cross Poison here to put pressure on my opponent, because I know that they're going to get to a Psychic before I can finish farming them down. So let it go. And then Talonflame is going to come back in. Again, with good timing, I'm going to throw 7 Cross Poisons, and then throw 7 Poison Stings, and then throw the Cross Poison. The reason why is because 7 of those fit quite neatly into the turns that it would require for this Talonflame to get 3 Incinerates through. And they're going to try to farm me down. And they're going to find out that that was a bad idea. Because guess what? I've got energy. Now, I do have to let it go down, and it's got 100 energy now. So Lickitung's going to come in, and it's going to eat whatever this thing's got, and that's fine. I know at this point, if they go for the Brave Bird, then they basically SOL. They go for Flame Charge. I know they're going to be able to go for another one after 1 Incinerate or a Brave Bird. I can safely shield this move, and that's basically all the Talonflame's energy, which is totally fine with me. They do go for Brave Bird, and I shield it up, and what comes in but a Scrafty? And boy, a Scrafty has no chance against the Thick Thigh Medicham. So here we go. This is Thick Thigh's the team. Little spider in his lanky legs, but Medicham and Lickitung being the thickest boys in the West here. Oh, look at him go. He got nothing on the Scrafty, dude. The Scrafty's got nothing on Medicham. Look at that. Look at the dance. Look at that dance. Alright, Foul Play comes through. I take maybe about half of my remaining HP. I just counter all the way down, and I'm basically looking to throw the Psychic at the Talonflame, not giving it any quarter, looking to completely end this match without a question about it. Psychic's going to come through, take out the Talonflame. That's going to be another win for me. And this team, dude, this team had like a freaking, 13-2 run, and I think I had another couple of good... I had like 2 bad sets outside of that, but then I had like really good sets, so... It was like a 13-2 run, I think. So this is a Psycho Cut Medicham. I didn't know that when I swapped in my Medicham. So I'm figuring this thing's probably packing Dynamic Punch and Psychic. So I do shield a potential Psychic. I don't want to deal with it. It is a Psychic, so that would have hurt a lot. The thing with Medicham is that you kind of have to play the Medicham mirror. I do opt to usually go in with Ariados, but I just kind of was like... trying to test the waters on how I felt about this person's team here, and they're not swapping out, so I have a feeling that they might possibly be weak in the back to a anti-fighter, which means they might have an actual fighter in the back, like a Scrafty possibly. So I am actually going to go ahead and let this go. I know that it's probably Psychic, but at the same time it's fine because I have so much HP, it doesn't matter. And here comes Electrode. Electrode comes in, they are now switch locked for the next minute, and I have got all the energy in the world. Now, I do have to shield this. I unfortunately was a ditz, and I CMP tied with the Electrode by accident, and I used Power Up Punch, so hopefully by spending my shield, they'll want to spend a shield in kind. Yep, good. We baited him correctly. That's the mind game, folks. If you want your opponent to spend their shield, you spend the shield too. That's how this works, right? So Ariados is going to come in. He's going to get to the lunge before the opponent can get to a discharge, which means that now, not only do they shield it, but now Ariados is going to be able to live the one discharge they get to, sneak in a poison sting. And now I'm going to be able to go for the lunge immediately after this and take out the electrode. Get the hyper beam, dude! He got the hyper beam, dude! Alright, well that throws that out the window. Here comes Scrafty. They beat me at my own game, dude. Electrode with hyper beam. Now the reason I don't have Electrode on this team is because I don't like Electrode so much. It's a good Pokemon and it's awesome to use. It's fun to use. I just don't vibe with it, so I don't run it. Boom! Get him with the damn hyper beam. That's 2 hyper beams in one game, folks. However, the Scrafty's going to be able to get 2 moves here, and that's just going to seal it for me, and I'm going to lose this game. And that's okay, though. Good game to my opponent. That was a heck of a game, dude. I was hoping this was a power-up punch, but I know it's not. Is it? It's foul play. Dang. That's alright. That was like one of my 2 losses with this team in that whole span of recording these sets. So, Lickitung versus Medicham got off the lead. We're getting out of there. I'm not even messing around. So I go straight to the Medicham mirror. Once again, Ariados is not a bad swap in here. I just prefer to bring in the less dominating matchup. And I guess either way you go, it's kind of not as great anyway. But, you know, whatever. Kind of trying to draw out their, you know, their Talonflame or whatever they've got in the back that might be bad, a bad matchup against Ariados, you know. Something that maybe my Lickitung can lick down and farm up. So, gonna go for the Psychic here. I got no reason to go for the Power-Up Punch. They've already hit me with a move, and I'm about to go down anyway, so here comes the Psychic. They're gonna draw their last shield. My opponent is now down 2 shields. And you know what I've got on my team? I've got a Lickitung with Hyper Beam. So you know what I'm going to look to do? I don't give a damn what it takes. I'm going to land a Hyper Beam. Hit me with the Icy Wind. That's fine. We go down. Lickitung is going to come in here, and he's going to lick this fish clean of all of its HP. But not before. It does have to take a move. But thankfully, Lickitung is so thick that it doesn't need to worry about it. They do go for the Icy Wind, so my attack is debuffed here. Less than ideal. But we're halfway to a Hyper Beam, and that's all I care about. And I've got 2 shields. I swap out, clear the debuff, bring out a Crustle. Crustle does not resist the bug moves, even though it's a rock type, which has always been a weird combination of types to me. Like, how could bug not be resisted by rock? But it's okay. Their attack goes down, which means I'm actually going to be able to shield this up and get another lunge off to take that Crustle down to almost no HP, and then Lickitung is going to finish the job. Lickitung is going to be the Medicham counter that I always knew it could be. All right. So, here we go. Almost farmed down. What I'm going to look to do here is go for the Cross Poison, get some chip damage off, and hopefully wait out whatever's left of the switch timer so that my opponent doesn't get a free counter. However, I failed to do so. They were able to get the counter right before it ends. So, here we go. 1 shield. Let's do it. How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Hyper Beam, folks? Let's find out. Throw up a shield here. Medicham's going to hit me with a Psychic. Don't care. Shield with the Psychic. My boy, Licky got to the Hyper Beam. Here it comes. Just wait for it. Just wait for it. There's no shields. They can't block it. There's no shields. Hyper Beam is... I don't care. Hyper Beam landed. It's fine. Takes out the Medicham and wins the game. I could have thrown Body Slams there. It's okay. But I wanted to do the beam. Alright, Slowpoke lead. Dude. Yeah. We love seeing Psychic types on the lead. We can lick these clean, dude. Now, this damn Slowpoke XL is so thick. And I didn't realize in my storage I have a Hundo 2020 Slowpoke with glasses on it. A lucky Hundo. So maybe next time this cup comes around I'll have to make it. But gonna go for the Body Slam here. I doubt that they're gonna try to shield this. And at this point I'm looking all the way down. I'm counting their confusions. And I don't care what happens next. I'm gonna lick it down. I'm gonna go for Hyper Beam. I don't care. I don't even care. They could come in with a Steel type or something. I'm going with it. Look at this. Medicham comes in. Do you think that they're gonna shield anything from a Lickitung? Just wait. Tell me you think they're gonna shield with 2 shields. Nope, they take it. Hyper Beam, and then Ariados is gonna come in and clean up this game. I'm gonna go for the lunge before they have the chance to get the Psychic off, and then even though I'm gonna shield anyway, but I want to pressure their shields, right? So they shield up the lunge. Attack goes down. I think I shield this. Yep, I'm gonna shield this up, and then we're gonna let Ariados go to town. I am actually looking to get some extra farm here. My opponent swaps out. I think they were trying to catch a lunge, which I mean, I'm going for lunge anyway. It's fine with me, right? So, Nolomomola is going to start eating lunges like their breakfast. Yes, waterfalls are going to do less and less damage. And Ariados suddenly became thicker than that fish. Those little lanky legs suddenly became the thickest legs in the East, and my opponent concedes because they know it's over, so that's fine. Alright, great games though to all my opponents, dude. I'm like, dude, Love Cup sucks. I'm not gonna lie, we just had this thing for 2 weeks. Everybody's ready and knows the meta. Everybody's running some weird, like, just stuff that nobody enjoys facing, so I'm running Hyper Beam on my Lickitung. I don't really care. I also ran some other crazy spicy stuff, and that's fine, but I'm actually gonna sign off for the week. I am actually not having a great time in Love Cup. I hate this cup. It's not fun. I'm going to come back into Open Great League next week and hopefully share some more battles with y'all because I'm not touching little cups whatsoever. No, 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 no. Little cups are horrible. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you watching this video, and if I can, I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.